I know. Like right before we started, I have to say that, and it was like inappropriate. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Snooze, Snark Alec News. I'm Tony Solo on Twitter. And with me is my very capable co-host, Mr. Dylan Lang. Say hi, Dylan.
Hello, everybody. It's the inappropriate snooze tonight. How's everybody doing out there? It is Thursday. I almost said Friday because it feels like a Friday. Thursday, 9:01 p.m., February 11th, the day before Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And speaking of birthdays, it's time for the Snark Alec birthdays. First up is our very own lovely Miss Laura Norman, who is the keeper of the birthday calendar. Her birthday is actually February 23rd. So happy birthday to you, Laura. Fantastic. There's not a birthday on February 26th.
What was that? Okay, so we're in March already. That was quick.
That was quick. Yeah. This new guy named Sony Tolo. His birthday is 26th of February. Don't know who that person is, but oh well. But then we come to March. Now March is huge, not only for this year, especially not only for Snark Out birthdays, but before we get to that, March 2nd is our very own AJ's birthday. He just celebrated his 1 year wedding anniversary just this week. So congratulations to them and happy birthday on March 2nd to you, AJ. March 3rd is my very lovely wife, Dawn's birthday. So happy birthday to her. Yeah, Dawn Snarky. March 4th is the equally lovely Larissa, Miss Daphne Dew. Her birthday is March 4th. On March 5th, we have Phil, Philo 1000. His birthday is March 5th. And even though he hasn't been around for a while, we may as well mention it. March 8th is Dan LaRock's birthday. So Dan, please come join us, hang out with us, whatever. But this March is very special because it will also hopefully potentially be the birth of the next generation of Snark Alec with the arrival of Cage Fanning. Dun, dun, dun. Amy Figaro's.
It's going to be Peyton Manning Fanning.
Peyton Fanning. So happy, what's the word I'm thinking for? Early birthday to you, Cage, or Lucas, or whatever the hell your name is now. Sorry, Amy. He'll always be Cage to me. I'm sorry. And those are the birthdays, Mr. Tony Solo. So what's up next, son?
What's up next? Well, first thing that we should talk about, because we talked about it in our last little get together, the football playoffs were just about to heat up. We talked about the end of the Snark Alec Fantasy, and we made some predictions. Now, do you remember your predictions for the playoffs? Because I surely remember mine.
I really don't. I think I was wrong in most points.
I did predict Broncos, Patriots in the AFC Championship. I did predict the Jaguars to go on to the Super Bowl.
Panthers.
You want to know something? Everybody does that, and I've been doing that. Jaguars, Panthers. Why can't we get the teams like not mixed up? Why? Is it the colors are similar? Is it because they're both kind of like cats? I don't know.
Well, it's because they both came out in the expansion draft in '94. Right.
So anyway, the Panthers, I picked the Panthers from the NFC, and I picked the Broncos, and I knew it was going to be tough, but I did predict AFC Championship was going to be Patriots, Broncos, and I did, based on the defense, I did predict the Broncos were going to beat the Patriots because they were going to put Tom Brady on his ass. So, very happy about that. But then I also said it's going to be a tough game, but I said I could not root for the Panthers, and I would be rooting for the Broncos. I did not predict the score, but the day of the Super Bowl, I predicted final score was going to be something like 2010. It was going to be a low-scoring game because it was going to be two defenses, and that's what we got. And I absolutely loved that football game. I don't know how you felt. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. We purposely didn't talk about it anyway. So what was your feelings about this year's big game?
Yeah, I kind of remember now. I think I also picked the Broncos Patriots in the AFC final, and I picked the Panthers over the Cardinals in the NFC. I didn't expect the Panthers to destroy the Cardinals like they did in the NFC Championship game, but I'm trying to remember. I think I also picked the Broncos to make it to the Super Bowl,
I
or did I
did
do
pick the
Patriots?
Patriots. Yeah.
Okay, I did pick the Patriots. Okay, I'm okay with it because at the time Peyton Manning, yeah, they had a good defense, but Peyton Manning at quarterback he was awful. He hadn't been that great, and Tom Brady always seems to find a way in there. And I was like, okay, the Panthers are going to take them out because the NFC is going to destroy the AFC because the NFC has been playing much better than the AFC this year, with the exception of the NFC East. Sorry, Tone.
Yeah.
But
That's
you're
right.
Jets anyway. You're AFC East anyway. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
today's Giants shirt. So, but yeah,
I agree. I was fairly happy that the Broncos won. It was one of those things, though. Either way, I would have been okay. I don't despise the Panthers. I don't despise the Broncos, despite the fact that John Elway screwed Baltimore. But that's besides the point. I talked about that on my show last week, so I'm not even going to go into that anymore. But yeah, I was glad to see a football game, and that's exactly what it was. It was a football game. I mean, yeah, there were lots of turnovers and they looked sloppy, but you know, the big game is not always going to be these giant blowouts, or they're not going to be these really close games, or fantastic. There's going to be some things that happen that might be a little worrisome or controversial, but in the end, it was a solid football game, I thought. And cheers to the Broncos, and cheers for Peyton Manning on his way out. I'm almost 100% certain he's done, and I would recommend that you do stay done, Peyton, because I don't think you're going to be able to make it back there next year, even with that defense, because he missed half of the games this year, half of the
hmm.
regular season games.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just don't know if he's going to make it again another year. Let Brock has a chance, keep the defense together, and we'll see where the Broncos go there. Brock played pretty good, so you get Brock as your starter. You draft maybe a quarterback in the second, third round, have them train up, learn up a little bit behind Brock Osweiler, and if you want to, maybe even trade for a veteran backup if you prefer, and have your draft pick just be a student and just watch and learn and see what happens. So good game.
Well, yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, uh, I want to see either one of two games. I want to see the 38-35 game that's decided by something like in the final seconds, or I want to see something that's just really like a nail biter. A lot of people characterize the game as a little bit sloppy, but the defenses on both sides of the ball were so good. And there was a lot of vicious hits. And in some cases, both quarterbacks at times were throwing the ball just a little bit too hard. Um, there was definitely some mistakes made, and um, at the beginning of the game, and I don't want to talk about this too much, but at the beginning of the game, that field goal that the Panthers missed. Um, at that point, like I was like, wow, I wonder if, I mean, and good for Norwood that it became a non-factor, because he would have been the GOAT for the rest of his life, in Carolina. And, it was a total implosion. And to tell you the truth, it was a really close game. That the final score, the 24-10, it really doesn't tell the story. It's not indicative of the game, because it was really close right until halfway through the fourth quarter, when it seemed like the Panthers imploded. But I enjoyed it, and that's enough about sports. We're not going to talk about. We're done talking about sports for now. Uh, okay, what did I miss?
Scott McDonald tweeted, "My wife's birthday is March 16th, and Amy's baby's name is Scott."
Oh,
Well,
his name is
Scott,
Scott Holladil
no,
Tony Solo.
no, well, Scott, our next show is going to be on March 10th. So, with your wife's birthday being on March 16th, that might have been something we might have talked about on the next show.
And actually, Amy's birthday would fall into the next show also because her birthday is later on in March.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, we only do birthdays up until the next show, as Dylan just said. Um,
But thanks for
but
watching, Scotty.
so just a little interesting thing that popped up in the news, and everybody's probably heard about this, but come on, here we go. So, have you seen these? The Target Star Wars pool toys.
The pool toys? No, I haven't
Yes,
seen those.
these are pool toys. So you might want to Google it because this picture is not showing up as well as the other one that I have. But they they are shaped like something other than what you might think. Just think of a cylinder with a Darth Vader helmet on the end. Okay. And Target is apologizing for these pool toys. I don't know why. I guess some lady, mom, was going through Target and she saw these Star Wars pool toys, which are on sale in February when we were having the coldest weather of the year. They've got the pool toys out there. And this lady goes by and says, "Damn, that looks like my dildo." and,
Oh, mercy.
and yeah, that's one way to get screwed by Darth Vader. Uh,
They also have the shower heads now. That
yeah.
if you want to think about something, it's not necessarily inside, but what's on the outside that comes. Never mind. But you get
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm talking about.
So anyway, um, which I mean, Google Target Star Wars pool toys and look at the pictures yourself. It's pretty funny, but you know, the funny thing about all of these licensed items, anybody who wants to use Star Wars has to pay. At this point, I'm guessing Disney some money because they want to use the logos and the characters and stuff. So I'm guessing there's somebody at Disney or a department at Disney that all of these products have to probably go through and be cleared, to make sure that, they're using the characters in the right way and blah, blah, blah. And nobody looked at this thing and said, that looks like a rabbit. It, I don't know. But it's February now. January, pretty warm. December, warmest December on record, and now we're getting the deep freeze. And there was a conversation on Twitter a little bit yesterday with Helena, and someone brought up the blow dryers. Okay. So if you're a fan of Snark Alec Radio and the Snooze, I have advanced a theory in the past about how we could, in fact, control the weather. Okay. And it's quite simple. Everybody goes outside with a hair dryer and takes the hair dryer, turns it on, and everybody points the hair dryer in the same direction. We can change the weather. It will work. And now I'm going to get a little bit sciencey on you. At this to understand how weather works on the simplest, lowest level, basically, weather and weather changes are caused by temperature differences. Okay, when you have air that has been warmed by the sun that comes in contact with cooler air, the difference in temperature between the two air masses causes motion. Okay, one air mass will rise, the other one will drop down, and then they will turn and they will start to mix. And that mixing is what creates the energy. Now, you get air masses that go over bodies of water will pick up moisture. And if it's cold air, it drops snow. If it's warm air, it drops rain. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's a very complicated, dynamic system. We're talking about the whole planet. Okay. However, when you're talking about 20 or 30 million people on the East Coast with 1,000-watt blow dryers, okay, it's not a blow dryer. It's not two blow dryers. It's 500,000, a million blow dryers all at the same time doing their little part, their little part, and the collective together can. I mean, we could have blown this snowstorm away. The snowstorm that buried Dylan in 3 feet of snow, closed Baltimore schools for a week, caused havoc, frustration. Do you still have snow on the ground, Dill?
We do, because we also just recently got about 2 or 3 inches on Tuesday, but we still had snow from the 3 feet of snow blizzard still hanging around at that time. Yes.
I've got a pile, a small little pile on one side of my driveway that's about that deep.
Okay.
From this, that's it. I have a little at the back now. The only place you see snow is, when you go by your supermarket parking lot, or your Home Depot parking lot. That's huge, and they've got those 30 or 40 foot piles. Yeah, it's about 15 foot or 10 foot now, but for the most part, most of the snow has gone over here. Um, but it's been funny because you guys have been a little bit colder than we've been up, and we're further north, and it's usually not that way. Like the cold air is kind of coming in down below and then making its way up to where I am in Jersey. But it will work. The blow dryer thing will work. Tony's blow dryer, climate change, global warming solution. We just have to all get together. And just an example. If you ever watch auto racing, okay, um, one of the things that they do in auto racing is something called drafting, where they have uh, the car that's in the front. Now, if this is physics and this is fact, um, a lot of energy that your engine produces is produced to overcome the vacuum that your car creates as it's going through the air. Well, in auto racing and specifically in NASCAR, it works in all. But what they have learned is that if one driver gets right up under the bumper of the car in front of him, okay, the two cars together. Now, and you have to realize that in some of these NASCAR racing tracks, they have things called restrictor plates. So it restricts how fast the cars can go. So they may have it set up where the cars should only be able to go 190 miles an hour. Well, if you get two cars together, what happens is the car that's behind helps the car in front go faster because it is sitting in the vacuum, and the two cars together travel faster than one car alone. And sometimes you'll see these drafts where they have 3 and 4 cars, and those 4 cars working together will travel faster than a car that's out there by itself. This is why my hairdryer thing will work. Imagine if I'm standing there and you're behind me with a blow dryer. Your blow dryer air is going into my blow dryer, and now my blow dryer is being more efficient. It's blowing out more air. Okay, we don't have to cause we don't have to cause a 30-mile-an-hour wind. What we're doing is we're warming the atmosphere a little bit, and we're moving the air. Okay, we're getting things moving. We're sucking up all that warm air from the Caribbean that those greedy Caribbean people are hoarding to themselves, and we're using it to blow this cold air back into Canada where it belongs, where it should stay all the time, back in Canada or in Cleveland, but not here on the East Coast.
Nope. Yeah,
and
we
it
might have.
will.
Yeah, we might have to work on it because we've got a polar vortex coming our way this weekend. So,
Oh, it's already here, dude. I woke up
yeah,
this morning. I mean, when you go outside and it's, I mean, we've had some cold snaps before, but it's been somewhat mild, and thank goodness it was mild because we were getting 50-degree weather, a day after that big storm, and that's and it's been staying above freezing. Like it hasn't even been dropping at night. This morning I go outside, 16 freaking degrees. I was like, what the hell is this shit? It's 16 degrees. What the? It's cold. Like it's not. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's friggin' February. It's still friggin' winter. So tomorrow we're supposed to be in the teens or the single digits in the morning. It'll warm up. We'll get up into the 20s. And then Saturday morning, it's going to be 0. And we could be down potentially to -5 uh, without the wind chill. -5 on Sunday. With the wind chill, we could be -25 to -30. Okay. And my opinion is when it's 15 degrees, once it gets that cold, you don't even have to go down even. You don't even have to say it's 14. It's 15 degrees outside. You gotta be freaking crazy.
yeah,
That's
yeah. You are getting it colder this time, though. Our zero isn't supposed to hit till Sunday morning. It's supposed to be in the 30s tomorrow for us, and then it's going to drop into the 20s on Saturday, and then it's going to start off around 0 on Sunday and only get up to about 17 on Sunday. But then here's a funny thing, and then we're supposed to get another snow event on Monday, and then the temperature's supposed to go up to about mid 40s on Tuesday, drop to about the 30s on Wednesday, back up to the 40s on Thursday, and then 50 on Friday and Saturday. So we're going to be getting a warm front coming through next
so
week.
I
Mm.
have just received a communication from a Mr. Kelly Toole who says I should check out the Star Wars shake weights. Now I would Google that if I thought it was really a real thing, but I just imagine.
Oh, good. Oh, they
Uh,
just do everything.
you got to remember, okay, after the first movie came out, and I think we may have talked about this before, but I think George Lucas is doing everything he possibly can to destroy the Star Wars Christmas special. Okay, that came out after the first movie, but before the like when they realized that they were gonna be making a whole bunch. Okay, there's clips on YouTube, but it's really hard to find the entire movie. It is freaking horrible. It is horrible, and it will never see the light of day again. It will. George Lucas and actually at this point, I think Lucas doesn't want anybody to see it because he's embarrassed. But I don't know who actually owns it. I don't know if
The network does or whatever, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's really. I mean, the deal is kind of weird. Like he retains the rights, I think, to the original movie. Um, and or the first three movies, but eventually Disney gets the rights to all of them, but he gets to keep Star Wars, the first one. So I don't know. And having said that, I did read a couple of things where Lucas wasn't happy about some of the things they did in the new movie. Well, hey, then you shouldn't have friggin' sold it. You should have kept control and you should have made the movie yourself. That's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. I mean, you got Rogue One coming out at the end of this year, and then they said they started filming episode, what would that be, 8 now? Started filming this week, so they'll be filming
Yeah,
that for the next couple months.
and I kind of like what they're doing. They're keeping it fresh. I mean, uh, I'm looking forward to this year's movie. I'm looking forward to the next movie. Um, I like that. I like the idea that hey, we've got a movie coming out all the time, and it's going to be set in um, the first movie's timeline. And I wonder if they're going to use any kind of trickery to not bring young Luke into it, But maybe they've got some outtake footage, or they can CGI up some stuff, for brief appearances.
From
Uh,
what I heard, is they're going to supposedly Darth Vader is actually going to appear in Rogue One, and also Peter Cushing's Tarkin uh, is going to be in it. Also, they're going. I guess that's CGI. They're going to CGI him
well,
into it. So that's what I heard.
you want to know something, Darth Vader? You can fucking put anybody in that fucking suit.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. You can.
You
Absolutely.
don't have to CGI him, but
And you can get James Earl Jones
Tarkin,
do the voice, yeah. And
yeah,
Tarkin, you're going to have to CGI it, and I think that's what they're going to do. Is they're going to figure out a way, because you see that all the time in commercials. You see, people dancing with vacuum cleaners who are long dead.
yeah,
And speaking of the Super Bowl, they had the Marilyn Monroe popped up in in a what is it, a Snickers
Snickers.
commercial with Willem Dafoe. So you bring them all back all the time.
Yeah. The McGivens already have the polar vortex, so I guess Helena and John are rubbing against each other to keep warm. Ooh, sexy, sexy.
You're the ones who should be working on the hair dryer thing right now.
Yeah, but you want to know something? Up where they are, they don't have the population
Yeah,
density
they
to make
don't.
it
You're right,
work.
like the East Coast does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, actually, if we got everybody from, this side of the Mississippi, it might not work because there are mountains in between. But if everybody on, east of the Mississippi, blasted crap west, we could save California from the drought that they're having. I mean, right now they're getting all the rain because it's their rainy season, but they use more water than they produce. So
Yeah,
we should tax them extra for that.
they should.
Um, but there was something that you mentioned before we started about
Yeah, I
um
was going to bring that up real quick. For those who know, who are fellow Snark Alex, Sesame Squirrel, Shirley, who was with us at our last Snark Stock, she unfortunately has some bad news. Her mother, Squirrel Mom, has actually been kind of ill. Went to the ER last weekend, I think, and has been on kinds of all these drugs and stuff like that. And apparently now she's in a hospice, and apparently has been unconscious for 2 days now. So it's looking like Sesame Squirrel Shirley might be losing her mother soon. So I just want to, thoughts and prayers out to Shirley, and well, hopefully maybe her mom will come through it and it'll be okay. But if she passes away, it's condolences to her and her family. So right now we're praying for your mom to recover there, Shirley, and hopefully you're not too stressed out about it, because Shirley is such a sweetheart, and it's one of the only other Snark Alex who's ever come to our house, Jerry Fletcher being the other one. So we've we have a special spot for Shirley here at the Lang household.
yep, and she was in my car the whole time going down to Snarkstock and back up, and she was, the person who was snapping all of those pictures and giving ammunition for Laura Norman to do all those captions that she did. And I am struggling with what the hell did Sci-Fi do to their website now? I would just want to see the schedule. So, we missed you last night, and last night was a pretty good challenge. It was a good one, and we had I don't want to say my boy, Rob, actually has 2 wins in a row, which is impressive. He's done some really impressive work. I can't navigate this.
He seems like he's is under the wire right now. He's just flying under that radar right now, and it's now he's starting to make more
Yeah.
appearances, but it's showing that he's got the potential, and hopefully maybe we'll see him down near the finals.
Yeah, he's got a knack for coming up with a good concept, and it's just amazing. Um, Everybody did this just about the same thing last night. It was an Alien Parasite, and if you could, I don't know if you can, but they always play it before, so you might be able to catch it next Wednesday.
On,
Get it in
I
DVR.
DVR'd it. I DVR'd every week because Dawn does the reviews for Paranormal
Okay,
Pop Culture, and she likes to, if she needs to go back
back
and
and review it.
review it or do something like that. And I keep it probably basically on my DVR until the next episode comes out,
Yeah,
since we've already
yeah,
seen it. But in this case, I will watch it this weekend or the next day or so,
yeah.
maybe even tomorrow because there's nothing really on tomorrow. So
Yeah, I mean, you see, I'm the same because well, I can't watch X Files and or Lucifer, because of my daughter's dance schedule. I'm out running around, so I DVR those and I watch them on Tuesday, and every week, and it's happened since Face Off came back. I'm like Tuesday, it's Face Off, and I'm like, it's so shit because it's on Wednesday. So, but I get to watch Face Off on Wednesday, but on Tuesday, because I don't watch anything on Tuesday, I'm able to watch X Files and Lucifer, and everybody in my house kind of likes Lucifer too. So it's easy for me. Um, but that's good. And I think 12 Monkeys is coming back in April, right? Is
yeah,
that
I
an
think
April
it's
thing?
April. Yeah, March or April. Yeah, it's coming up the next month or so. Yeah.
And so there's nothing else I'm watching I'm watching X Files. I'm still with Torchwood on the Netflix. Um, season 3, which is about the children of Earth, and season 4. The first you have to watch the whole thing. I like season 1. I like season 2. Season 3, phenomenal. I think it's only 6 episodes. Season 4, I'm in the middle of that now. Phenomenal. It really is awesome. So if you have Netflix and you're a Doctor Who fan and you've got nothing to do, nothing to watch like me, uh, definitely want to watch Torchwood. Definitely want to watch Torchwood. Um, it is good. It is good. Which let's see. We talked about my hair, my blow dryer thing. We'll
Hmm.
tell people. Snark stock. We got to talk about that. And maybe enemy territory. We're gonna have to schedule a game night. That's why I was trying to look at the sci-fi schedule. And their website sucks, or Chrome sucks, or something sucks. I don't know, but I just can't pull it up. And I don't want to say, hey, this Saturday, let's play enemy territory and find out that sci-fi is premiering Sharknado 17. Um,
Actually, Saturday night I'll be doing my Dylan No show because Jerry can't do Valentine's Day, so
ah,
we're gonna do 9 o'clock prime time. Dylan No's top 10 John Hughes films. So, and that's not just ones he directed; they're ones that he also wrote, also. So, just something fun to do, something different. We did a Valentine's Day one last year, so I wanted to maybe get away from that a little bit. So, the only time that Jerry could do it was Saturday, so I figured 9 o'clock's good.
well, I think I might be going down to Philly on Saturday night and having Valentine's Day in Philly with my daughters and everybody.
Nice.
Um,
Saturday afternoon, I'm going to go buy Dawn stuff. So I know what I'm going to get for her and just go
well, what
out
are you
there
going to
and do
get her?
some around. Just she's not she can't wear jewelry to work. She can't wear
I
makeup
was
or
just kidding. You're
perfume.
not supposed to tell me because then
She doesn't
everybody
watch the
will
show
know.
anyway.
She doesn't watch the show.
She's talking to my mom now, I think, on the phone. No, she
Bitch.
does watch the show. Yeah, no, she does watch the show sometimes. I think what
No,
she
I
watches
was
it
just
later on.
kidding.
Yeah. Okay, but no, I've got plans, and it's just right up her wheelhouse stuff she always likes. So I can't get her the typical romantic stuff because she doesn't really like that stuff. And I've known her long enough that I know that's not just an act, and she's always mad at me when I don't get her flowers or anything like that. I know that, so I know she likes what I get her. So.
Yeah. So, Snark Stock, we're going to start talking about it soon. There'll be some emails going out, hopefully this weekend. But if anybody wants to get involved, help us plan. Let me or Dylan know. The plan is to have this is from season 5. The plan is to have it down in Baltimore, and date has yet to be determined. And agenda has yet to be determined, and budget has yet to be determined. So, if you're interested, hit me up with a DM. Um,
I think we're looking in June, like we did last year, Snark Stock, unless it's
mhm.
too late to start. But I think we can plan something good if we start planning soon for a June one. And I've got some ideas. I always say it's just a matter of just getting them down and worked out. So let Tony know if you're interested, and we'll
Yeah,
set something up.
and let Mandy know if she's not watching, or we'll reach out to her because she's down your neck of the woods and she wanted to be involved. So, um, we'll see. I'll send um, a feeler out to Nicole, see if she wants to get involved also, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So right now, we're going to talk about. There's nothing on TV on Sundays now because there's no football. And it's strange because um, the Sunday between Super Bowl and conference championships, like you don't feel bad because the big game is coming up in a week, but it's the Sunday after the Super Bowl that there's nothing to watch. Okay, The Walking Dead's coming back. Who gives a shit? Let, let's be honest. Who gives a shit? Um, the way it ended after the first half season um, was kind of like a limp kind of uh, cliffhanger. Mommy, 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 and you thought they were trying to make you feel like something was really, really gonna go badly wrong there. But I mean, are you dying for Sunday, Dill? I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Are you like can't wait and anticipate it? Because believe me, I can wait.
I haven't been that way about Walking Dead in a while, but I'm actually intrigued because from what I've been reading about what's upcoming in the second half of the season, it's got me interested. Of course, it could all be about trying to draw viewers and get their attention, and they screwed us before in those aspects. But it's not like something that I'm so excited for. I mean, I'm going to still watch it and all that stuff, but I haven't really been as crazily excited for it as I have in the past. So,
Okay, so according to Mike's main squeeze there, Helena, and John's rubby stick, um, there is a movie on that may be premiering on Sci-Fi. It may not be a Sci-Fi movie or a new movie, but it's new to Sci-Fi on the 20th, called You're Next. So it looks like um, this Saturday would have been good for an enemy territory game night. However, Dylan knows. So maybe we'll look for something on the 27th, which is the following week. But when I can check the schedule, I will send an email to those people who play. And if you are interested in playing enemy territory, hit me up with a DM and I'll send you the links and stuff. But anyway, back to The Walking Dead. So, um,
I will
anyway,
say that I will say though I am intrigued by what they're pushing for what the second half of the season is going to be. Obviously, leading up to the Negan storyline, they're saying it's going to be brutal, hard. They've been revealing, when Andrew Lincoln and Larry Cohen got the script for the final episode, it disturbed them. So all those are really good indications that hopefully this was just a minor hiccup in their creativity. They were trying to do something different in the first half of the season, and it didn't quite work. And
okay,
now,
what was the different thing that they were doing? Like they were going to not have zombies?
no. I guess more along the lines of just trying to, I guess, keep it within a small time frame. Try to see if they can run this thing in a 3-day period spread over 7 episodes. 8 episodes, something like that. I forget how many
Well,
it
that's
was.
what they did in the first half. It's basically 3 days
Yeah,
because
that's what
they're
I'm saying.
yeah
That's what I
yeah.
thought that you were asking about. No,
Oh no no no
no, no. Oh, the second half of the season. Okay,
yeah
the
for the
second half of
second
the
half.
season. From what I've heard about the second half of the season, Sunday's episode is going to pretty much close the book on the zombie infestation of Alexandria. There's rumors that there's going to be a time jump, either very soon after that episode or somewhere in the middle of the last few bunches of episodes, which will lead them, instead of watching them rebuild Alexandria and just watch them episodes after episode of them rebuilding Alexandria, is going to jump 3 months, 6 months, whatever, to the time where Alexandria is up and running again. They've gotten rid of all the zombies. They've refortified the walls, and things are moving along. Laurie Cohen's more pregnant, and stuff like that. And then that's when you're going to get the hurricane that's Negan and the Saviors. So, and that's going to cause the ripple effect of, they've built up after this disaster of a zombie infestation. They're rebuilding the town. They're expecting it to be good, and then all of a sudden, bam! They're going to get hit by this hurricane that is Negan, and
Okay. So now that would lead me to this question, which would be, um, where would the Abraham, Daryl, Sasha confrontation with the truck? Would,
well, here's,
would that
as I
would
said,
that be that they just take the truck and say bye bye, see you later, and let him walk away?
there's a possibility it could be that, or there could be a situation. I don't recall. Were there a lot of people of the Saviors there?
There was at least, I would say, up to about 10. Remember, they blocked the street. They blocked the road with motorcycles, and so there was a good 10 or 11 guys out there. I think. I mean, I never stopped to count, but there was a good number of people. They had enough bikes to block the road.
So
And
either what's going to happen then is they're going to take the truck and say, okay, bye bye, you're on your own, whatever. Or remember, Abraham grabbed that big ass gun. Him and all of them, they've got some ammo and some weapons. They're going to just destroy all the Saviors and just kill them and then move on their way. And that's what's going to lead Negan to want to find out who are these people that killed my guys, and then lead up to the potential death at the end of the season. That's going to lead into the Negan storyline. So as I said, I don't know. I'm just going by,
mhm.
and this it's not really, you can't really believe with what I'm saying. I'm just going by what I've been hearing in the news. I don't know how they're going to portray it like that.
Well, it was just a question, if they're going to do a time jump, they went out of their way to show this other little snippet, and um,
Well, yeah, I know, but you see,
yeah.
here's the thing, though. They don't know the Saviors who are stopping Abraham and Sasha and Daryl. They don't know where they're from. I mean, I
Oh no,
guess
no,
it's
I
in the
know that,
general.
I know
Yeah.
that. But from my perspective, it's Daryl picked up Sasha and Abraham in that gas truck, and they're heading back
Right.
to Alexandria, and so they show them in this truck. I'm sure they don't use that truck to drive around and pick up flowers and shit. So my guess was that they were still on their way back. So this should happen fairly early. And
Yeah, it's supposedly, I think, but we saw, I think, the sneak preview with the Saviors is going to be the
yeah,
first 4 minutes of the episode that's on Sunday. So you're going to see, you're not going to start off with them walking in the crowd covered in zombie guts. You're going to start with what is going on with Daryl and all that, which you basically saw in the preview. And then you'll cut to the group in Alexandria. Now, and the point is, and I know what you're trying to say, that the time jump's going to happen, but eventually they're going to make their way back to Alexandria. So if they destroy Negan's crew and then keep driving, and then they'll make it back to Alexandria in a few days and help rebuild, or if they have to walk, it'll just take an extra week or whatever it is. It's 20 miles, they said, 20
mhm.
miles outside of Alexandria.
Yeah, it's not
So
far.
yeah, so they'll walk. So they'll be there for the time jump. So basically, you'll have them. they either arrive at the end of the episode, or you can see that they're on their way, and then you'll time jump, and then there's going to be Daryl and Abraham and Sasha. They're all going to be helping, cleaning up and pitching in and doing stuff, and bringing about the arrival, of stuff. Now, before they get to Negan, they have to introduce Hilltop, which is the other town that's in the area, because that's where Jesus comes in, and where all this is leading up to. So
This
that's
is so
gonna.
confusing. Wouldn't the saviors be with Jesus? Because like I hear the saviors and then I hear Jesus, and I just think that they should be together.
I agree with you. No, it's actually great.
And then we're going to find out about the rabbis on the hill next door.
The Sermon on the Mount.
Yes. So anyway, Laura Norman says it has to get better because the first half sucked. I'm gonna semi-agree with you, Laura, because there was parts of the first part of the season I liked and parts that I didn't like. Okay. For example, Glenn should be fucking dead. All right. He should be. And finally, so my coworker finally understood what I was saying. I didn't care that they tried to use some trickery to make us think that Glenn was dead. But my problem is when they went as far as to remove his name from the credits. Okay. To reinforce that and to do what Chris Hardwick did, because I have a feeling that he was part of the whole PR campaign that they were running. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay. I didn't think, in my opinion, that The Walking Dead would ever resort to using any kind of trickery or ever doing anything like that. And they did. That's my problem. Not that Glenn is alive, because in the past, when someone's been dead, they're dead. Okay. They could have just left it. They could have left his name. An example, episode number 4. It was Morgan and the fat guy, right? And he's the fat guy. We don't need to know his name because he's only in one fucking episode. Okay. It was Morgan and the fat guy. When the show started out, you saw the name Andrew Lincoln. Was he in the episode? No. Was anybody else in the episode? No. Did they take anybody else's name off? No. They only took off Steve's. Okay. So that's like deceptive advertising. That's like this bottle saying it's 100% pure vodka. Okay. And it's not. Okay. With this label that says Poland Spring water, but it also says vodka down here. It's not. That's what my problem was.
No, and you know what? That's a very valid point, and that very valid. Exactly. I mean, I think that was kind of childish and stupid. What you could have done is, if you end up, you wanted to go with killing Glenn at that time, you have your wrap up of the story where you find out, everybody finds out he's dead, stuff like that. Then you take his name off of the credits if you need to that way. I agree with that. It's also the same thing that drives me absolutely crazy, because you're always looking for hidden meanings and stuff like that. They throw, when you see the credits, they also starring, and then they have all these other characters, which are some of the minor ones in the picture here as well, and who aren't in part of the main cast, but they're still hanging around, but they're not in the episode. It's like, well, am I missing some? Because you see their names and you expect them to be in the episode, because also starring such and so, and you think, well, are they in the background somewhere or something like that?
In season 4, halfway through season 4 is when we lost Beth, right? Mm-hmm. They never took her name off. Okay. And she didn't come back till halfway through season 5.
Right.
And they never took her name off. And as a matter of fact, after season 4 ended, she got elevated from being a cast regular to like a guest star or something. Like, they elevated her. She got a raise going into season 5 before they killed her off.
Right.
But another comment we have here from Mr. Scott McDonald says he doesn't need a hair dryer. Well, I'm sure his wife does, because the last time I saw a picture of Pammy, she's got a full head of hair. Your kid's got a full head of hair. I know he doesn't blow dry it, but you got to have a hair dryer in the house. Kelly says that Negan will be Datu level awesome. Okay. And I don't know if I would equate Negan with Datu. I think Eugene is more of the Datu character, Kelly. That or Father Gabriel, okay, would be my Datu. Like, who is the most annoying guy on the cast? And I kind of like Eugene. So the one that annoys me most is Father Gabriel. So he would be the Datu. But the Mr. Fix It guy or the Brainiac guy would be Eugene. So I posed this question to Dylan, and you guys watching, chime in. Hit us up on Twitter if you're seeing this on tape delay or whatever. But I've got the season 5 cast up on this picture, and everybody here is still alive except for poor Noah on the left. And I think all of the main cast is up here. I don't think anybody's missing except little ass kicker.
Yeah, you're not
Um,
missing anybody. No.
and you know, we've had some additions, and um, I think this would be our main cast. There are some other people that aren't in this picture who I would call significant cast members, like Aaron, and some of the other uh, Alexandria people that have actually spoken words, you know, and interacted with the main cast. But here goes my question. I asked Dylan this question before we started the show. So he's hopefully had a little time to think of it. In just about every season, at least a main character or two and more characters have been killed off. You know, a couple of main characters and maybe someone that's significant, like an Aaron level guy. So far, we haven't had anybody that I would consider significant. You know, mostly red shirts. You know, people that we met that day and we knew they were going to die. Um, but nobody significant from the cast has died. So, um, who do we think um, is next? Now, uh, an easy bet could be that somewhere before the end of the season, it might not be the right time yet, but are they going to kill off? Are they going to kill off Glenn to keep that part of the story going? We don't know. It all depends because you did say there was going to be a time jump. So, I mean, they may kill Glenn off in the second part of the season, but out of the cast that we could see up here now, minus Noah, and I would say we put Jesse up here, because she's probably going to be what might be main cast. Who do we think? Um, and I will give you my top 5. And my top 5 are the people that are probably going to make it through the season. And that would be Rick, Michonne, Carol, Coral, and Daryl. I'm guessing those are the top 5 untouchable characters. I could be wrong. Um, I don't think they're going to kill off Maggie. So, I don't know what type of role Rosita plays in the book. They're trying to get some kind of romance going between Abraham and Sasha. So, does Sasha get connected with Abraham and then have Abraham die? And that turns Sasha fully nutso? Um, that's a possibility. Um, Laura just said, as I was saying that, Abraham, which could be interesting. But are we going to do the crazy character again? You know, someone get her a phone. Deadpool,
Yeah.
Daryl, Jesse, and Tara. Interesting. Well, uh, and that's from Mister Tool. They could kill Daryl off whenever the hell they want to. because he really doesn't have a storyline. Jesse, I'm gonna disagree with that one because she's safe. And Tara, yeah, you can kill Tara off unless she starts, hanging out with the not doctor lady. I don't see anything significant there, but I don't know. Gabriel? Could it be Gabriel? But I mean, nobody would care if he got killed. People would say it's about time.
Oh, you
You
know
know,
who's missing in the picture though?
who?
Morgan. Morgan.
Morgan's not in this picture either.
Yeah, because he didn't show up till later. I understand.
Right.
This is from the fifth season. I
Yeah.
get that. But Morgan is a member of the main cast, and he is also could be potential bait as well. So we're going to throw that out there as well.
Well, I would.
You
I
think
don't.
so? You don't think
I
so?
don't. I don't think Morgan is going to be around long, but I think he might have at least 8 more episodes left in him. And uh, now that we know that there's going to be some sort of time jump, little, that throws a little wrench into it because it all depends on is there going to be a cliffhanger, and so usually, um, with the cliffhangers that they throw at us, it's usually they leave the cast in some sort of limbo. I think the worst situation they've ever left us in was the Terminus thing, but it was the entire main cast minus Carol, and Tyrese. Um, but they've never left us. I mean, right now, are we in a precarious position with everybody walking through the walkers? I mean, like it doesn't feel so dangerous to me. You know what I mean? It is a cliffhanger. Um, please, please, please let Father Gabriel die. That would make so many people happy. Yeah, you see, so you might as well keep it because I think he's got another betrayal left in him. Um, and I think I mean, he's got to have a betrayal, and or if he's going to die, he's going to have a Dale death, where when he dies, hopefully, um,
It's Myrna. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
um,
Dale death.
Dale death. I have a feeling Gabriel could possibly die in a way where he's saving, little ass kicker, baby Judith, or something along. I mean, I don't know if maybe he's got another betrayal left in him. It seems like he wants to try and work with them, and they're not letting him do anything. But I think he will redeem himself, and it's going to be like. I mean, do you remember when Dale died? Everybody hated Dale, and then as soon as Dale got killed, oh, that's messed up. How could you kill Dale? I really like Dale. Well, nobody liked Dale 5 minutes ago, when his guts were still inside him. But as soon as we started seeing him from the inside out, you know, people changed their tune. I think that's going to happen with Father Gabriel. I mean, I don't like the guy myself, but Rosita, I mean, would anybody care? I mean, right now the only thing that Rosita is eye candy. I'm thinking Michonne would be a big one to go. Michonne would be a biggie.
But I agree with you. I think she's untouchable. I know they say nobody's untouchable, but I think
Right.
Michonne's untouchable. I think Rick is untouchable. I think Coral's is untouchable. I think Carol's untouchable. And right now, those are the only ones off the top of my head right now. Daryl used to be in that era for me, but and this once again, they do this to me all the time. They point in one direction and then whoosh, they throw a curveball at you. Everything is pointing at Daryl being the big death at the end of the season, the season finale, the big death of the season finale. Everything that I've seen and read and heard about is Daryl's going to be getting the Glenn special from Negan. Now, the reason why I say that is because if they wouldn't have had this, and I'll admit it, dumb Glenn death scare, we'll call it that, at the beginning of the season, which is not even in the books, I would have thought Glenn's gone. He's done. And once again, they could be throwing curveballs at us, because then they'd be like, they'd be stupid to try to kill him a second time, and this time he'll stay dead. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this time they've got a plan for Glenn that goes past Negan, and he's going to survive the Negan's wrath. And I think Daryl's going to be the one that's going to get it head on.
Well, I mean, Daryl is a big fan favorite, and a lot of people say, if Daryl dies, we riot. You want to know something? I don't know how Kirkman feels about Daryl, but I have read more than one story and seen more than one interview where he's in love with the Carol character. He loves the Carol character more in the show than in the book. And I, you know, so I think she's kind of untouchable.
And I agree with that. I agree with that too.
And like I said, Daryl has no storyline, main storyline as far as the show is going. At this point, where we are right now, maybe there'll be something going on with him.
I mean, again, they're saying once again all the stories I've been reading, stuff like that, that's going to be more Daryl heavy this second half of the season, because he had one episode in the front 6 or 7.
Right. Well, I mean, in order for to put things into perspective, okay, whose death would mean more? Okay, a Glenn death right now, a Glenn death, or a Daryl death right now. A Glenn death would have a higher emotional impact on everybody because Maggie's pregnant. If they would have killed off Beth at the point where she's with Daryl in the funeral home, and then she died right around that time, nobody would have cared. But when they brought her character back and you saw, I mean, people kind of got to know Beth. They didn't know who Beth was until she was alone with Daryl when they all got split up. But then you saw her in Atlanta and you saw the things that she did. Okay. And you knew they were coming to get her, and they got her, and she died right there. Okay. Did that death have meaning? Yeah, because Daryl's carrying her dead body out and her sister sees her dead. You know, she was alive 5 minutes before that. So, in order to have Beth's death have meaning, we had to know her, and she had to have a story. Glenn's always had a story. Maggie's always had a story. I mean, right now, Rosita could die. What's her story? She doesn't have one. Gabriel doesn't have one. Morgan's got a story. Daryl doesn't have a story. He's a fan favorite, and that's the only reason, you know. I mean, when T-Dog died, you know, T-Dog was in the background half of the time, you know. You'd see him walking back and forth. There was episodes that would go by where he didn't say a word, you know. So we'll see. We'll see how things play out. I mean, there's a lot of sorting out of the people that has to happen in town, let's call it, because Jesse's asshole's kid. Oh boy, Scott, you got to really stop it with. He's got to stop doing this crap with the Taylor Swift. Oh my God, dude, I love you, but holy moly, you know. And he's got like thousands of these on his phone. He's just like looking for times to use them. It's funny. It is funny. They should bring Taylor Swift onto The Walking Dead and bring her on as a red shirt just so she could be killed.
I'll answer more later, but who you think's going to die in the second half here?
Well, I'm going to put my money on Glenn
Okay.
again because of the emotional impact that could have. Um, and Abraham, I'm gonna. They are going to start some sort of relationship, and Abraham and Sasha, and near the end, something is going to happen to Abraham, and he's gonna get killed. Um, Sasha wasn't with Bob long, you know, before he got taken away from her. And I'm just wondering if this is going to push her to full crazy. And like I said, get her a phone because she's going to need one. But I think the setup for it started in that episode, the Daryl, Abraham, Sasha episode. So we'll see if it pans out. But I'm gonna say possibly Glenn or I mean it's possible that Glenn may not he may make it through season 6, but early in season 7 is when he'll get it. Um, and if not Glenn, Daryl. But I mean, if I was going to give you three, I'd say chances are Daryl, Abraham, and or Glenn don't make it past the end of season 6, and we'll see. I think.
And those are along the lines of what I was thinking as well. We talked about this a while back, but I thought that before this whole fake Glenn death thing, I thought I agree with you with the fact that Glenn's death would be more meaningful because in the comics it is done in front of Maggie, who actually sees the death, the brutality of the death, and causes Maggie to separate from the rest of the group and go on her own voyage and her own storyline, and makes her an even bigger player in the game later on down the line. And I'm thinking that's the area they're going to be going to now. In order for her to do that, you need to get rid of a Glenn. But at the same time, though, I just don't like the idea of the fake out death and then actually killing him at the end of this season, or as you said, maybe beginning early season. But I think someone big is going to die. From what I've heard, Negan makes his appearance at the end of this season, and he actually kills somebody in the group at the end of the season. As I said, all this is all stuff I've heard, and once again, I've been burned by them before, just throwing stuff out like that. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I agree with you. Abraham is on the list as well, and if it's not Glenn, Daryl, and it just seems to be focusing more towards Daryl because basically Jesus is Daryl for the most part. He is a badass loner guy going out trying to get people to come to Hilltop, and he's a major badass, and they're going to make him a badass. So how many badasses can you have?
Well, the only thing I want to throw out there as just an observation.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that they've done on the show that are interesting. Like the orange backpack. If you remember the orange backpack made it all the way to Terminus, and it showed up um, in the second Morgan episode, when it was just Michonne, Rick, and Coral, um, and there was that guy that was kind of hitchhiking on the side of the road. They always do things like that. There's a lot of stuff that they do. In that same episode, there was one of the walkers that came up to the car had a bracelet on with the name Erin. They always try to either humanize the walkers or humanize the people on the other side. Um, and here goes a question. Um, and it's basically opinion. Um, Rick kills the people that were coming out of Alexandria when he's in the RV, goes through the guy's pockets and finds a jar of baby food. Now, did the guy take the jar of baby food because he had a baby to feed, or did he take the jar of baby food because he was hungry and he was going to eat it himself?
I think it was because he was going to eat himself because
Okay.
I don't see the wolves, because he was a wolf, as being ones that have families. They tend to be the solitary pack type of things. If it was a savior, that'd be a different story, because the saviors are basically Rick and his crew, but under a a a big leader type. But and they're basically they're going and they're they're forcing people to pay them money to protect them. They're a protection racket, type of thing. That's basically what the saviors are. That they're taking their stuff, but at the same time, they're still going to protect them, though. So if zombies start attacking their town, they'll come and they'll clean up the zombies for them. It's just they require payment. They're not doing it of their own free will. And that's where the saviors become an interesting group. And we're going to be seeing a big influx of those characters rolling in as well. Same with the Hilltop one. So we're going to see shit ton of new characters beginning this season, this half of the season, and mostly into the second season. Next season as well. So I think it was to feed. I think it was to feed himself, because the wolves were more solitary.
Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna agree with you because, but they do try to do the humanizing thing, and it may have been because I remember seeing that episode, and my daughter, and she's like, "Oh, he was gonna take that to a baby," and that's the reaction that a lot of people must have had to the baby food thing. Okay. But the other thing that they did in, I think it was the same episode, was when Rick cut his hand. Okay. Because before then, he cuts his hand and he's looking at it and he had it wrapped up, and he's looking at it and he had it wrapped up. It became a non issue. And a lot of people think that it was them, the writers doing a wink wink saying, "Oh, look, are we going to cut off Rick's arm or not? Are we going to?" So it seems like they've been doing a lot more of that, playing with the audience this season. And I don't know if yeah, right, because every time I get a tweet, you get a tweet, so it's like I don't know if you're hearing mine, but mine goes ding and I see you taking a look over. But yeah, it's people got to stop encouraging Scotty. They have to stop encouraging him. That's the problem. Um, so we'll see. But I mean, I like a lot of the stuff that they did, except for that one episode. But I mean, I love the Morgan episode. A lot of people hated it, you know, and that episode, it didn't make a difference where they put it. They could have put it. Actually, they could have actually opened the season with that episode and then rolled from there. They could have put that episode anywhere and it would have worked. And it may have worked better if they would have done it at the beginning of the season. If they would have just started it with that last scene from last season and then started rolling with the Morgan thing, and then episode number 2 is episode number 1, and then have it roll from there. It could have worked. I mean, but then again, they could have thrown it. Well, maybe it wouldn't make sense if it was at the end, because they had to.
They had to have the wolf get away and have that whole situation.
Right.
So it couldn't be at the end.
It could be at the end, but it had to be before then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And anywhere before the wolves infiltrating Alexandria would have been a good place to put it. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I will be live tweeting on Sunday, maybe. I don't know.
I will be. So
it's what. Yeah, of course I'll be watching. But will I like it? No, I won't. I'm gonna not enjoy it on purpose. I just hope, like, I don't sit down, and because I was getting, I was really mad the first half of the season when they brought Glenn back, only because I felt like it was beneath them. I thought it was a classier outfit. I thought it was a better show than that, than for them to resort to that kind of crap. But I might be over it. I don't know. I won't know until I sit there and how I feel, because either I'll be vicious or I won't. I like everybody on Face Off this year. Okay, and it bothers me when I have to tell people to pack up their shit and leave because they've been eliminated.
So
Um,
you like Johnny?
um, I don't dislike anybody.
Okay,
I don't. I don't.
that's fair.
I mean, I really like. I really like Walt. He tweets. He retweets me every every episode. Um, I like Rob. I like Robert. He's amusing. I have a feeling if anybody screws up and needs to save, I have a feeling he might be the guy that they save only because he is a fan favorite. Um,
But he's been having a lot of trouble this season. I mean, he's
uh,
been in the groups at least the bottom like most every time, right?
well, he's not a very strong type person. He has some good ideas. I mean, well, you need to watch the latest episode, and um, and you'll see what I mean. But I think Rob could go all the way. But I mean, there's still some talent there. You know, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talented ladies on the show too. So we'll see. Wait till if you haven't, if you didn't get a chance to see the makeups, there's the number two makeup in my book was pretty amazing. Um, but Rob was just better, and it's difficult because there's Robert and there's Rob. Rob is the young guy, and Robert is the German guy who comes up with the songs and and naming things. So we'll see. I'm gonna check Twitter. Da, 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 da. Okay, so
And then what we can do is at the end of the Walking Dead season, we can have our usual wrap up, and then you can let
well,
me
yeah. Well,
know.
we were gonna have
Yeah,
again. Our schedule is going to be March 10th. So, da, 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 da. Is that the halfway point, or do
let me
we
get
get an
let me
extra episode? Let's
let me
see.
see.
One, two, three,
It's let's see,
four.
1, 2, 3. It'll be four
Four.
episodes. We'll have
Four
four
episodes.
episodes in the can by the time we come back for the snooze. So four episodes will
Yeah.
be in the can with what, four more to go, right? I think it's
Yep.
8 episodes in the
Yep.
back
It's
end.
16.
Yeah.
So that means that it's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. April 3rd should be the end time.
And I think that works out perfectly. Then we can do April 7th as the snooze or the
Yeah.
finale wrap up or whatever, because that'll work
Yeah.
perfect timing.
Yeah.
So
That works out. It worked out good. We'll have to make sure that we try and, if we need to alter, we alter to keep that going. But other than that, so you're doing Dylan Knows on Saturday night, right?
Saturday night, 9 o'clock. Me and Jerry Fletcher doing our top 10 John Hughes films. We all love John Hughes. He's not only directed some of the best films in the world, but he's also written a bunch of them also, including the entire Vacation story of the three that count, the Vacation movies, and done the Home Alone movies as well. So, and he's written some other ones that he hasn't directed, which have been good. So we'll talk about those. As I said, we did a Valentine's Day episode last year, and I didn't want to repeat ourselves again this year, so we're going to try something a little different. Yeah, that's what's going on with that.
Alrighty, so having said all those things, and it sounds like I got one more tweet.
That's Myrna. Don't worry about it.
Not. So enemy territory. Stay tuned. We may do something on the 27th of February. Probably this weekend. There'll be some emails that will go out to certain people for snark stock planning, and Dylan knows anything else that Dylan might be doing, because I look at YouTube all the time and I don't see anything else going on.
I've got an episode in the can. It's the first part of a two-parter. I just need to figure out time to get the second part done. But I got one episode in the can right now.
Okay.
So I just need to find the time. Maybe this weekend, but it might be brutally cold. But that actually might work to my advantage to do what I want to do. With
it's you see, this isn't Snark Alec Radio, so I could ask you about the assistant. It's just that those guys that do talking ass can't have you on talking to ass or they can't talk to you about it, but that has nothing to do with the snooze.
Right.
So
But
it's
yes,
because I don't know who those guys are. That's got nothing to do with me.
I had to plan to release 2 episodes in January. I got one in the can, but just stuff happened and I didn't get around to it. And then I can't wait for you to see it because it actually plays off nicely from the Christmas episode. And I shouldn't say lucked out, but it actually is. I like what you're gonna see. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna be
Okay.
surprised about what happened to the house in question, which is all I'm gonna
Okay.
say.
Listen, just tell me that there's going to be death, destruction, gore, and entrails, and I'll be happy. And you don't even have to be telling the truth. You could be lying.
There is some interesting things. So it's just a matter of, as I said, just getting the second part up. As I said, I'm going to try to get it done this weekend, and we'll get that ladled up for you guys.
Alrighty. So, having said that, March 10th is the next news, and we will be doing the Walking Dead mid-season report card stuff. We'll probably have that on the website, a week before. And maybe I'll set something up where you can predict who you think is going to die. And maybe I'll have that up before we get into Sunday. My picks are Dylan's picks. Abraham, Daryl, Glenn, possibly. Maybe not in that order.
One of those two, yeah, Glenn, Daryl,
Yeah.
one of those two is probably going to kick the bucket this season. So,
and there could be a surprise. I mean, and now those are main characters. We're not talking about like if one of Jesse's kids ends up dying. They're not main. They're significant, but we wouldn't consider them. I wouldn't put their death on level with a Herschel or a Tyrese or even a Merle, because Merle at the time when he died, he was a main character. Dale, Shane. We're talking about people that the story's revolving around. And Daryl's a fan favorite, even though the story doesn't revolve around him. So we'll see you guys next month. Good night. All this news that's fit for us to talk about.
get those hair dryers out there.
Yes. Bye. Get a wig, Scotty. Get a wig.
Shake it off.